Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you have found me. I am Jenna Ross, owner of Spiritually Savage Mindset Strategy Coaching. I am a medium, channeler, psychic, card reader, soul coach, and a spiritual mentor. I am here to chat with you and talk to you about awakening. I am seeing in mass right now, mass awakenings. And if you are a healer, you have noticed it. And if you are finding this channel for support, then you are the ones that are being awakened. So I welcome you and I thank you. If this is your first time seeing me, hi, it's nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of your subscribes, shares, comments, feedback, and of this is obviously just a collective talk, but if it resonates with you, then I would love to continue to share with you. I do private readings and also private coaching, and all of those links will be down in the description box. But enough of that business, and let's talk about the business of actually being here. We are just coming out of the full moon, and we are moving into the Lionsgate portal, which is on 8/8. And the Lionsgate portal is said right now to be the ushering in of the new existence, the new consciousness for mankind. We are at current, constantly since 2020 now, been raising the vibration of the planet. The Schumann Resonance is constantly raising and pulling our consciousness up where it needs to be. If you are watching this and you've been watching the Schumann Resonance, there are many layers to it. So don't just watch the one layer of the Schumann Resonance and listen to these podcasts and blogs and stuff like that are talking about the Schumann Resonance isn't raising. There's like levels and levels and levels, and they all have to do with our levels of consciousness. And there are many levels that are changing constantly and jumping drastically. And they are changing if you don't know what the Schumann Resonance is, it is the vibration of the Earth's core. And if you know anything about vibration, you know that we match vibrations, and the Earth needs us to match its vibration. So we are all being pushed. And if you'll see all the astrological events that are just overlapping each other, the solar flares, the moon wobble, the eclipses, the many supermoons that we're having, these are all Chiron in retrograde right now. We are having so many different layers of things that the universe is using to shake us awake. And the change is coming. For those of you who want to stay asleep, if the seeds have been planted and you are meant to wake up, you are waking up. And so welcome. Thank you. And thank you for joining this journey, because we've been waiting for you for a very long time. I have been on my spiritual journey since I was a child. All of my psychic gifts came in when I was very young, and I used them, and for a long time had no idea that other people could not do it also. And a lot of people were freaked out, and a lot of people were afraid, and I did feel like I was crazy for a while and had no idea like what to do. I had an amazing great grandmother who was a fabulous mentor to me, and then along the way I found more mentors. You need mentorship. And I'm going to tell you this because as you awaken, certain things start to happen. You do have reactions in your body. You start to feel very disconnected. You start to feel very disoriented. You do get this very weird feeling of you don't belong and you don't know what's real. It is one of those things that taps on people to make them believe that they have a mental illness. And one of the other things that is really, really a pit that you can fall into is that sometimes you get those symptoms where you don't feel like that you want to go on. You're very confused. You're not suicidal, but you are, you don't care what happens, if that makes sense. You're like, if I die today, good. If I don't, good. I'm not saying don't seek help. If you truly believe that you are having a mental issue, or if you truly believe that something is really going on, you always need to reach out. What I'm saying is there are times when people know I'm not depressed, but other people are telling them, you're depressed, you don't want to do anything, you're this and you're that. And you know inside something is happening and something is changing. You know because you feel it inside. And everybody keeps going, maybe you're depressed, maybe you're just anxious. And you're like, no, it's something else. I'm seeking something more. And if that's your sensation, you may be going through an awakening. And if that is occurring, then it's because there's this disillusionment. Your soul is trying to pull your consciousness up, and your body is resisting it because it's terrifying. When you go through awakening, you're going through a metamorphosis. And with a metamorphosis, it's so much different than a transition. Okay. We go through these transitions where we transition from one relationship to another. We transition from, high school to college. We transition from our parents' house to, living on our own. We transition from one relationship to another. We transition all through our lives. But with awakening, there's more than that. It's not just a transition where you feel like you need to leave your job, you need to leave your family and friends, you need to leave your spouse or your partner or your romantic interest. You have this feeling, and it is literally like you are becoming something else. It's not transition, it's metamorphosis. And whenever I think of metamorphosis, I think of a butterfly. Butterflies are symbols of metamorphosis. And that is because they are caterpillars, and then they go in the cocoon and they come out as butterflies. And think about how terrifying it is as a little caterpillar to know that you're going into this cocoon, and when you come out, you will never be a caterpillar again. You're like, I know how to be a caterpillar. I know what it's like. I've been a caterpillar my whole life. I know how to walk as a caterpillar. I know how to talk as a caterpillar. I know how to exist as a caterpillar. I know what my family thinks of me as a caterpillar. But now, some of them are still caterpillars, and I've got to go in this cocoon, and I'm going to come out as a butterfly, and I won't even know them anymore. I have to leave them behind until they're butterflies also. And what if they die? Or are eaten by a bird before they become a butterfly? Then I've lost them completely. So it's a transition, and it's a change in you. And this is not just a transition and change of life. This is you becoming new. So it is terrifying. The reason that I wanted to talk about this today is this. I'm noticing a lot of mass awakenings, and with me being a mentor and a soul coach for so long, so many people follow me on Facebook, and I've been coaching so many people, and people hear me. I'm very outspoken about my truth. I live who I am every single day. This is not just something that I put on, and talk about. This is how I live, and this is who I am. And so over the weekend, I had a lot of people reach out to me who are experiencing these awakening symptoms. And a lot of them were very scared and cried a lot and said, I didn't know who else to call because I was afraid everybody in my life would think I was crazy. But I knew that if I called you, that I would feel okay, that I would be reached without judgment. When you are transitioning, you need people to reach you without judgment. You need people to hear you and to say sometimes that you're not crazy, or to just hear you and not say anything at all. You do start to feel a little crazy, and I'll tell you why. Can you imagine if Neo had woken up in the Matrix and then they just sent him back to his old life? Paying your bills and wearing a uniform every day and going to a pointless job, and all of that would seem very pedestrian after knowing that everything was not real, correct? And so spiritual awakening is a lot like that. You get weird physical symptoms because your body is fighting it. You get weird physical symptoms because your chakras are clearing. You get weird symptoms because your body is trying to release trauma. And this is another thing I want to talk about, because just because we've processed through trauma emotionally does not mean that it's out of the body. We have to release it out of the body, and it's not going to release sometimes until it's ready and until we do the actions that need to be done in order for it to release. So there's a lot going on, and it does make you feel crazy. And you kind of sit on the fence with one foot in your old life, one foot in the new life, and are terrified to pick a side because you're not quite sure what's happening. It's very disoriented. And especially if you are, grown and adult, and all of a sudden your gifts are coming in. You're all of a sudden feeling overly anxious whenever you go out. You're all of a sudden feel like you're feeling other people's emotions. You're all of a sudden feeling these emotions that there's no reason in your life for you to feel. I had somebody over the weekend who has gone through some very, a couple of tough years where her life was very loud. She had an illness, everything else. She was very focused on those things. Now that that is all behind her, her life is very quiet. Now that it's very quiet, all of a sudden her gifts are coming out. She can hear things. She can see things. She knows things. It's terrifying because she knows she's not crazy. She just all of a sudden started having this. And so it is disorienting when you have been a caterpillar your whole life, and now the cocoon is showing up and asking you to be a butterfly. And we go, oh my God, I can't tell anybody. But the more you try to push it down, the worse it gets. And then when you do try to tell people, you feel like they don't get it. And you are now faced with the, what if I lose all of the relationships in my life? And I'm going to tell you this. As you transition into a butterfly, you have to have different friends. Not all different friends, just the ones that aren't ready to transition with you. You may have to have new partners. It does happen a lot because you have lived a life suited for a caterpillar. Your life that you're heading towards is not for caterpillars. It's for butterflies. And you don't get to make the choice. Sometimes the universe forces it because you have a purpose bigger than you. And it's not that we don't have free will. Here's the thing about free will. Free will is a very misunderstood concept, I believe, in our spirituals community. We go, we can choose not to do this. You can choose in your soul. Your soul is your GPS. Your soul is what makes you animated here. Once your soul leaves this plane, leaves your body, for the final exit, you don't exist here anymore. Your soul is what keeps you animated. Okay? It's exactly why, you can keep a body alive, but if the soul's not there, it doesn't matter. Okay? So your soul chose this mission. The free will is your soul's. Your soul chose this life and what you would do before you even came down to this life. You may think that there are certain things that you're choosing, but everything in your life happens for a reason, and it all happens as it should to get you exactly where you're supposed to be. If you ever felt like it didn't matter what you did, it was always leading you to this one thing. Everything in my life lined up to this. And then as you look back, you go, oh my God, all the pieces just fit perfectly and led me to this spot. It's a soul path. It is time for us all now to recognize our soul path and to wake up and stop worrying about the human programming. To stop focusing on our responsibilities as a human and start focusing on your responsibilities as a soul. We did not come here just to pay bills and die. It's not why we're here. We're here to impact consciousness and other people on a serious level. And in order to do that, the only way to do that is to heal yourself and to take responsibility and accountability for you. As each person heals themselves and grows, consciousness grows. You cannot force other people to wake up. You cannot force other people to heal. You cannot learn other people's lessons for them. And sometimes you pushing forward is just the kick in the ass they need to have the confidence to push forward. Other people watch you more than you think they do. I saw a meme the other day talking about it's time to stop worrying about waking people up. That we are moving into a new era, and the people that are supposed to be awake will be waking up, and the people who won't. And the truth of that is, the people who are supposed to wake up have had seeds spread by other people for a long time, and they've had time now to cultivate and crack open and plant roots. The people who are just receiving these seeds now, they don't have time right now. So you just have to let it be, and you have to move forward. I talk all the time about if you want to lead, or you want to inspire, or you want to show somebody, if you want somebody to change, do you know how you help them change? You change you, and you show them how. You show them it's possible. You inspire them with your change. How much change are you going to implement if you won't clean up the mess in your own life, but you're busy pointing out theirs? I have these rules in my life. I don't take criticism, I don't take advice, and I don't take comfort from somebody whose life does not look like I want my life to look like. Why would you take financial advice from somebody that their finances are a mess? Why would you take relationship advice from somebody whose relationship is not what you want your relationship to be? Why would you take health advice from somebody who doesn't have good health? You know, these are the questions you need to ask yourself. Why are you so worried about what other people think when their life doesn't look anything like you want your life to look like? Be the example. Step up and make the changes that need to happen for your life to look the way you want your life to look, the way you want your life to feel. People talk all the time about manifesting. And they go, I tried to manifest what I wanted. You don't manifest with rules and facts. You manifest with feelings. You know why? You push that feeling out. Today I had an amazing client meeting with a potential new client. And it was amazing. I felt a really good connection between me and the new potential. They felt it also because they voiced it. And I let them know, this is not a hierarchy. I'm not here to tell you what to do. You already know what to do. I'm your partner in this. We share energies. We hold hands. I hold the light for you. We do this together and we move forward. In order for me to help you move forward, I have to be moving forward. You can't say I'm trying to help someone when you're not going anywhere. Okay? If you're staying there to help them, then what you're doing is standing still and making them an excuse for you not to move forward. You don't get to teach people how to move forward in their life if you're not moving forward. If you're allowing other people to hold you up, if you're standing still waiting on someone to make changes or to realize what they're doing, then you are not helping them. You are not helping you. You are not inspiring them. You are not in a position to help them at all. Okay? We inspire people to change. You can't fix people. If you're trying to fix people, or if you notice that you are a fixer and you're focused on other people and angry about why they won't make the changes they need to in their life, you're projecting because you don't want to look into your own life to see what changes you want to make. You know why? Because you shouldn't have that hard of an emotional attachment to it, even if you love that person. It's a tough pill to swallow, you hear me? Even if you love that person, because if you truly love that person, you know that failing might be exactly what they need in order to push forward. So you back away and you let them fail. You know why? Because I have a child, and if I had micromanaged when he was trying to learn how to walk, I would have been like, no, you're going to hurt yourself, and I wouldn't have let him walk. I knew he needed to fall. I knew he needed to hurt himself. I knew he needed to stumble. I knew he needed to have those falls and those pitfalls and those, teaching moments, I knew he had to get pissed off and frustrated and say, no, I'm doing this. And you know what? You have never seen a child not learn to walk. Not a healthy child who was able to use his legs and, had full function. You know why? Nobody assumes they're not going to learn. Everybody just assumes they're going to learn. And so they do, because you don't make it an option for them not to. Nobody goes, I know this is hard, baby, just stop. We'll just carry you everywhere. So why do we do that in other people's lives when it comes to other things? Why do we tell them this is really hard? Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to attempt that? I just don't even think it's possible. Like, I wouldn't do that. Well, good for you. But we should always look at other people with awe and recognize they can do it. The fear that we all have is if they can do it, then we have no excuse. So when you can't celebrate other people's wins, when you find yourself bad-mouthing or talking bad about somebody else, recognize what you're saying. When you speak negatively about something or someone, recognize what you're saying and see how it pertains to you. Because the spiritual journey is about looking at you and looking inside and looking at yourself. That is the hardest part. But it's the only way to do it. If you're not looking inside, then you're not really on the spiritual journey. You could surround yourself with crystals, wrap yourself in herbs, do everything holistically, drink tinctures all damn day and use, spiritual code words, wear flowers in your hair, run around in the woods and talk to bees. And you're still not on the spiritual journey. The spiritual journey is inside. Okay? And as within, so without. You will recognize the people who are actually on the spiritual journey because they will be able to handle these situations. The things that come out of their mouth, you know whether they're living it or not. You see it as fruit. You see it as evidence. I posted a meme the other day that said, I don't address shade from trees with no fruit. And I don't. If your fruit is rotting and falling off the tree, or if you've never produced any fruit, why am I taking criticism from you? Why am I taking advice from you? Why am I allowing you to comfort me? Because you're just holding me back. We all need to move forward into our butterfly state and find other butterflies who can understand us, support us, and are living the lifestyle of exploration and lightheartedness. I mean, isn't that what butterflies do? You were a caterpillar and you were really heavy. Now you're a butterfly and your light is the air and you're living your purpose and you're flitting around everywhere and you soar and you're able to get places so much quicker because you're not minimized by what you believed was possible. Now your eyes are open to what the universe says is possible. And the universe says anything is possible. If you believe something is impossible, that's what it becomes to you. It's not possible. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. But the truth is, you can do anything. You can create anything. You can manifest anything. And your life is what you allow it to be. And as you awaken, you will see that leaning in changes everything. Struggling against and fighting what's happening, the resistance makes everything crazy, everything difficult, everything a hardship. You feel so much physical pain. You feel so much emotional pain. You feel so much spiritual pain. You take on such a heavy burden. And it doesn't have to be like that. You're creating that inside. the resistance, the struggle against change, metamorphosis, is what's causing that. So what you need to do is lean the fuck in, because that is what is gonna make this process so much easier. I'm not saying it won't be messy. I'm not saying it won't be scary. I'm not saying it's not going to be overwhelming. I'm not saying that you won't think you're nuts and you're not going to go through that phase where you're like, why am I still washing my underwear and wearing clothes and going to work and paying bills, and why am I bothering with these relationships because none of it matters anymore? I'm not saying you're not going to feel all that. I'm saying that you're going to get your shit and you're going to be like, you know what? We're on this journey, and whatever comes, this is where I'm supposed to be. Embrace the journey, because this is exactly where you're supposed to be. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.